Hey guys, welcome to this episode of Pondering the Process, where we embark on a journey of discovery with some of the most creative minds in the community and explore the making of their latest projects. Today we're talking with Czech Republic artist Nikol on her realistic portrait of Harry Styles made with color pencils. Thank you so much for joining us, Nikol. Thank you for taking time to be here. Truly appreciate that.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. So I guess we could start talking about the piece. First time I looked at it, I was pretty impressed with how detailed it was, especially when I found out that you used color pencils. And it looks pretty good. It looks exactly like Harry Styles. I don't think it's difficult for anyone to know who you were trying to draw here. What inspired you to create this extremely realistic portrait of Harry Styles?
So I always liked drawing realistic things, and after some time I found out that I like drawing portraits the most. And before I drew this portrait of Harry Styles, I had an art block for about 2 or 3 months. So it wasn't very easy for me to start drawing again. But I thought, what is gonna be the best way to return to drawing? And I found out that the best way is to draw something or someone that I really like. So I decided to draw Harry Styles because I really like him, and it was quite easy to return back to drawing because it was great to draw someone that has a special place in my heart.
I see. It is interesting because a lot of people I've talked to always tell me about their art blocks and everyone treats it differently. Your method basically was to take a break and then go draw something that was close to you, get inspiration from something close to your heart.
Yes, I think it's not very good to push yourself to draw when you don't feel like doing it, because then you don't feel good because you mess up one drawing after another, and it's not good for your mental health when you feel bad about your skills. So I think it's good to take a break and return to it after some time.
I agree, that makes so much sense. So the next question would be, do you have a certain process for creating realistic portraits with colored pencils?
I think I draw portraits like every other person. At first I do the sketch, which is for me the hardest part because it's very hard to capture all the face expressions, and it takes me a really long time to manage to do this. But after I do the sketch successfully, I start picking the right colors that would fit in the picture. And when I'm done with that, I just start coloring the picture. And I always start with the eyes, and that is probably the most important feature of the face because I feel like the eyes is everything. So if I manage to draw the eyes successfully, I continue by drawing the whole skin and mouth. And I always do the hair and clothes at the end because I think it's the easiest thing, and it has never happened to me that I would mess it up. So that's my process of drawing.
I see. It's very good work, so you should be proud of yourself. I really like how everything comes out.
Thank you.
You mentioned how you do the clothes and hair and everything, but even the clothes look really detailed with the shading and the way you can easily see the creases on the clothes. Do you have any special techniques that you use to achieve that level of detail on the clothing he's wearing?
I'd say the most important part is blending. That's the basics. And I do that by applying many layers of colors. I try to use as many colors as possible because that makes the drawing look realistic. And when I'm done applying the colors, I just burnish them together. But I always need to do that many times because it doesn't look right after just one layer. So I'd say blending is the most important part, but you also need to pay attention to the detail and yeah.
Yeah. I would imagine blending is difficult with colored pencils though, so that's pretty impressive how well you were able to do this.
Thank you. This drawing took me about 12 hours, but as I said earlier, I had a huge art block before doing this, so it wasn't very easy to continue drawing because I hadn't drawn in so long, so it was hard to pick the pencil and just draw everything in the spot. But I'd say because I really like Harry, it was him who motivated me to finish this drawing, and I really like how it turned out in the end.
Yes, great piece, great work. So, aside from the mental block you had, did you have any other challenges while creating this?
I'd say the most stressing and difficult part is the sketch and to capture everything. But I think also very hard thing was the t-shirt because I have never drawn green clothes before. So it was my first time blending green colors. So it was a great experience to try this out. And also because the t-shirt is quite scruffy, I had to pay attention to the holes and add all the details, so that was also very hard.
I see. Did this come from a reference image or did you add some of your own elements to this?
It is from a reference photo I found on Pinterest, and I didn't really add anything. I just removed the background because I feel like the drawing pops out more when the background isn't there.
Okay. How do you usually choose which celebrities to draw? Because I did look at your Instagram page and it seems like you do have a few projects where you're drawing different celebrities or public figures. So how do you choose who to draw at a certain point?
I'd say it depends on what is trending at the moment. I usually try to go with the trends, but sometimes I just choose my favorite celebrities, or just some photo pops up at me on the internet and I'm like, oh my god, I want to draw this. So I do.
Okay, that seems pretty cool. So keep up with trends, get inspiration from random places. That makes so much sense. Okay, and is there any advantage you've seen of keeping up with trends versus drawing something from external inspiration?
I'd say when I draw something that's trending at the moment, it gets more recognition and it has better reach than something that I just randomly choose to draw. So I think keeping up with the trends is good when you want to reach new people and make your audience bigger.
Okay. What advice would you give to people who are trying to improve their realistic portrait skills? Because it looks like you're pretty good, even though I know that you're continuously improving. But it looks like you're at the point where you can give advice. So, what advice would you want to give people who are trying to get to your level?
I'd say the most important thing is to practice. They should practice as much as they can, but practice isn't everything, because when they draw over and over, they make the same mistakes again and again. So they should watch some tutorials, for example, on YouTube. That's what I did. And also many professional artists have courses that you can pay for, and there you can get some advice from them, which is a good thing to improve because they are the professionals and they tell you what is the best thing to do. And I also think it's not obligatory to buy expensive supplies in the beginning, because many people think that when they buy the most expensive supplies, they will automatically be good at drawing. But that's not really true. You need to practice to do that. And you can also create very good pictures using cheap supplies. So don't invest in it too much, because then you could be disappointed.
I see. That's great advice. Thank you for saying that. Because I do agree, a lot of people see all these fancy equipment. They're like, oh, maybe if I start off with the fancy equipment, I could get to a level. Like, it does help to have fancy equipment, but you still need the base skills to be able to use the equipment as efficiently as it's supposed to be. So
Yes.
I appreciate you saying that. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah. I think it's easier to create good pictures with the expensive supplies, but as I said, you can also create very good pictures using the cheapest ones. So, yeah.
Exactly. Plus, if you have no skill in creating good pictures at all, the expensive supplies don't really help as much.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's true.
Okay, so earlier you talked about how if you're trying to reach a broader audience, do something that's trending, at least that's what's worked for you. So based off of that, how do you feel about the current state of art and the way it's appreciated by the public?
Yeah, I think many people share their art on social media, and I think it's a good way to show people what you like doing. But nowadays it's quite hard to grow on social media because many people are there, and it isn't as it used to be. And now I don't think the art is that much appreciated as it was before. But I still think it is appreciated by, for example, galleries. Some galleries here in Czech Republic ask beginner artists to bring their work there, and other people can see it and they support small artists. Or we have also many competitions and art events here. So I think it is appreciated, but I don't think on social media it is appreciated that much as it used to be, like 2 years ago.
Yes, there's so much on there that you can't even keep up with content anymore.
Yes.
So are there any other mediums that you tried exploring aside from color pencils?
Last year, I went to Italy to try landscape painting. We were painting landscape using watercolor, and I really liked that, so I would like to improve in it. And I would also like to try acrylics because I really like the way it looks. So I would like to try it out and see whether I could be good at it or not.
I'm pretty sure you could be good at it. I think the final thing depends on if you're comfortable with it. Because I think it's easier to get good at something than to get comfortable with it, right? Like you could get really good at acrylics, but every time after an acrylic painting, you might not feel fulfilled. So I feel like that's just as important too.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, okay. So we will be looking forward to all those explorations. If ever you decide to go that route, we will be supporting you all the way, just so you know.
Thank you so much.
So, do you have any other favorite celebrities that you would like to draw in the future now that you've gotten past your creative block?
Right now, I want to draw the Outer Banks characters because I feel like Outer Banks has such a boom right now, and I think it could have a good reach. But for myself, I would like to draw my favorite singers, for example, Shawn Mendes, and also I have like a board on Pinterest where I have many reference photos of many actors and singers, and I would like to draw them all, but due to school I don't have that much time, but I like to draw on weekends, and I hope I can finish as many of them as possible.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of creatives nowadays always have something else as a different commitment aside from creating. So do you feel that school gets in the way of you creating art sometimes?
Yeah, I think so. Like, there are days that I don't have any schoolwork and I can draw during the whole afternoon. But there are also weeks when I have so much schoolwork that I cannot draw at all. And it is really frustrating because it's like just work, 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 and there's no stop. So it is really relaxing when I have a free afternoon and can just draw till the evening. But it doesn't happen very often, so I try to enjoy every minute that I have the possibility to draw.
I see. So is there a future where you see yourself doing art full time?
I'm not really sure about that because I'd say I'm good at it, but I'm good at drawing something that I already saw. But thinking about drawing something from imagination, I'm not really good at that. So I'm not really sure what I could do with drawing these realistic things because my imagination isn't very good. And I feel like when you want to do something artistic, you also need the imagination. And I don't really have that, but maybe if I work on it, I can do something artistic in the future.
Oh, definitely. Because the truth is, everyone has their weaknesses. Let's take talk show hosts, for example. Some of them are not as funny as the jokes they bring out, but they always have a team behind them that brings up jokes. They have a whole brainstorming session. So even if you're not the best person at imagination, at some point, if you can get a team together to help cover your weakness, then it opens so much doors.
Yes, that's true. I'm not sure whether I want to do it because I'm not really sure yet whether I want to turn my hobby into a full-time job, because I'm scared that I would get fed up of it. But maybe I will change my mind and I would go to art school and continue on my art journey as a job. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a very good point, because a lot of people do fall in that trap where they turn their passions into a job and then they start hating their passion. So that's a legitimate concern.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you so much for talking with us so far. That's all I have regarding the work, but I do have more regarding the Udocreatives app. So, not sure if you went through the app. Did you?
Yeah, I did. I downloaded it, I think 1 or 2 days ago. And I really like it, actually.
Oh,
I think it's a really great way to share your art with other people. And it's like a big art community, and people just appreciate your art. It's not like, for example, Instagram or TikTok, where there are also other people and it's harder to reach out to the people who are interested in art. And I think your app is great for reaching these people.
Oh, thank you. We have been working so hard on it, so thank you for saying that. Yeah, a bunch of things that you mentioned that I'm really happy that you did. So the whole having to compete with people from other fields, right? Because earlier you mentioned how it's now difficult to grow on social media. We're trying to combat against that. We're trying to allow people to still grow. So that's why we've said, instead of you as a creative competing with, let's say, an influencer, people who do comedy skits, people who do hairstyling, makeup artists, all of that, we don't want people to be competing at all. We just want people to be in a safe space where all you're doing is sharing your work and it's being shown out there, right? So I don't know if you saw our spotlight page, but we're really proud of that. It's not like a lot of other social media where everything has to do with likes, right? It's more like if you refresh the spotlight page, it's a different set of work show up. So you're never lacking inspiration, and it doesn't also matter how much reach you have. So you could have like 100,000 subscribers and you could have 2 subscribers, and the chances of you both appearing on the spotlight page is the exact same chance, right? There's no one that's going to appear more than the other person because they have more people following them. Things like that.
Yeah, I think that's great, because on other social media you don't get that much reach when you don't have many followers. So I think it's great when your app offers also the small accounts to reach their own audience.
Exactly. And so the way we've set it up is the feed section is for people that you're following, right? So you get their posts, you see discussions from people you're following, you see glances. So a glance is just a story that stays on there for 7 days. So instead of keeping on the pressure for people to post all the time, what we've done is we've created this thing called glances, where it doesn't show up on your actual feed and it gets deleted after 7 days. But it's a way to show your subscribers or people who follow you or in the spotlight too, hey, this is what I've been working on in the past 7 days, right? So you could put a bunch of progress videos in your glances section, and in the next 7 days, they are not going to go away. So you don't even have pressure to go put them back there. And if someone goes on your feed, what they're most likely to see is your finished work, and they're not going to be bombarded by constant videos of progress, because the progress is being separated in the glances section. That way people are able to identify when you're done. They're able to identify what you're actually trying to portray, right? As opposed to being clouded by so many things. Like, one thing I feel about Instagram, for example, is I don't think people would have so many posts on Instagram if Instagram didn't make that a thing, right? So that's what we're trying to do here. It's like, you don't need that many posts. All that needs to be on your feed is your final work, and then your glances. You can put all your progress stuff in there, and there's nothing stopping you from reposting a glance as many times as you want. It just stays there for 7 days. The whole point of it is we don't want pressure for people to post all the time. It's like, no, let's focus on the post you want, and then the process videos, all of that could always be in glances. People could always look through those.
Yeah, I really like that you prefer quality over quantity, because on other social media it's not like that, and it's not really good, because when you don't have time to draw or to create anything, Instagram just shadow bans you. But your app allows you to share a good quality photo and doesn't push you to just create all the time non-stop.
Yes, I really appreciate the fact that you took time to go through the app, because a lot of things you're saying, I didn't even need to say them first. So I'm pretty happy you're saying all this. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So another thing that we did on the app is we have a discussions section. The whole point of the discussion section is for people to ask questions, right? So there are two types of discussions you can have. So the first discussion is of your work. So for example, if you were to put your work on the platform, people can always go and view the work and just like it. And one thing we do is that we don't show the amount of likes, so people don't get discouraged too, right? We just show that someone has liked your work, but we don't show you the amount of likes you have, so people don't get discouraged. But one thing you can do is you can go to the post section and you can like it or bookmark it or whatever. And then you can also go to the discussion section of each post. You can discuss the post. So for example, you can put this picture on there and ask, hey guys, how do you think I can improve this? And someone who's seen the post and opens the discussion section of the post can respond to you and say, okay, this is what I think you can improve, or this is what I think you did great, right? The same way we have a firm kind of discussion section. You could go to that and you could just post random questions. So for example, the questions I asked you about what kind of advice would you give aspiring portrait artists, right? Someone can go on the discussion section and ask same question, and there will be thousands of people, eventually millions, because we're still growing, that would be willing to respond and give the same kind of answers you gave. Because one thing we're going for is that we realize that it's so lonely when you start the creative journey, right? Like, it's so difficult to know where to ask for advice, who to meet for help. So we're trying to create a platform where anyone who's starting out their creative journey immediately has all that information at their fingertips and can immediately start their creative journey without feeling any unnecessary stress, without having the need to go and buy expensive materials, because they can easily go through the discussions of other people and see, oh, okay, I don't need to buy this material. The advice is start off without buying this, or the advice is try it this way first. That's what we've been working on, and like I said, I'm pretty glad that you're on the same page.
Yeah, I really like it. It's really good.
Thank you. Please give us 5 stars on the App Store.
I will.
Tell your friends about the app. Also tell your friends about this, right? Like, if they want us to talk to them on YouTube, we will. We intend to keep on doing this even after the app is fully launched. So
yeah, I will tell all my artistic friends.
Thank you so much. Okay,
Yeah.
So that's all I have today. Do you have anything that you would like to add?
I would just like to thank you for all your support, because you also support people who don't have that many followers, unlike other feature accounts. So I really like the way you work, and thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. Thank you so much. All right. It's been great talking with you, Nikol. I really enjoyed my time. So thank you so much and have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.